Welcome to my sacred space. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a life-changing experience that I had, but it was more than just my life-changing experience. My older sister suffered with cystic fibrosis for a very long time. Her death was pronounced, I think, 6 or 7 times. And each time she fought and she rallied and she created and manifested a way to still be here. Wow. So after a very long, peaceful warrior, love-filled, light-filled being that she is, and I say is for a reason, with reason and purpose, which I will reveal to you in this dialogue. I got a phone call and I was told to fly in to see her, that it was near the end. And so I got on an airplane and I closed my eyes because I didn't need them. I was talking to her from my heart, and my heart could see and show me where she was at, not only physically, but where she was at on a soul level. So I'm on the airplane, my eyes are closed, and I am seeing her in her ICU bed, and she's very frail. She was about, I think, 80 something pounds, and so the bed just enveloped her. And the ICU room was filled with sounds and noises, and I could see through my heart's vision that it was a different type of setting than she would have wanted. But then I had to squint my non-opened eyes because I saw directly standing behind her a male angel. And when I say angel, I say that because it was a very prominent, large, light-filled, male energy-filled being with his arms spread out to the side, looking down right above her head at her, and with his arms spread out like if the headboard of the hospital bed, his arms were spread out to that length. And directly behind him against the wall were 2 female angels. It would be like they were standing, one was standing over here and one was standing over here, and he was standing in the center behind my sister's ICU bed. And so I thought, wow. So the plane lands, and I go to walk into her room, and I stop and I take a deep breath, and I invite myself strongly to move into my heart center and to not let my eyes and what I'm about to see to distract me or to convince me that I shouldn't be present. Too much pain, too much suffering, and in my heart, it's not that I wouldn't experience or feel that presence of pain and suffering, but I would also experience the wisdom of me or whoever was there being fully present for her and not emotionally checking out because it was too much for me. I hope that makes sense. So when I turned the corner and I walked in to her room, I was met with so much love. It just filled my entire being and spilled into my aura and out beyond me. And there was a visual now with these eyes and this eye, the third eye, of the angel standing behind her bed, and then the other two, woo, I get emotional, standing behind her. I mean, behind him. And so there I am seeing that, and apparently she hadn't opened her eyes or communicated in some time. And so I walked up to the side of her bed and I looked at her. I didn't say a word out loud. My heart light connected with her heart light. And she kind of opened her eyes a little bit and was kind of like, what is it called? She was squinting. She was like squinting and her head was turned a little bit. And then her eyes got really big and she leaned towards me and she said, "I can see God in your face. I can see God in your face." And I, in turn, said to her, "And I can see God in your face." It was so beautiful. So, from that moment of recognition, not only did I recognize that I was there to hold that energy for her, but then I was able to tell her about the guardian angel behind her and the two behind him. And I was able to talk to her, and it was amazing. It was like something I had never experienced before, because she said, "I'm ready to go and this is what I need." And she started literally to orchestrate step by step her passing. Who she wanted to call and say goodbye to, who she wanted to see, how she wanted it to be. And I was honored to be there and take notes. We all were. And it was like, yes, yes, yes to her. Whatever she wanted, yes. And so I ran out to get her doctor, who they had a very interesting relationship, because he was at the top of his field, and she, with her life force, he would tell her this is it, and she would say no, it's not, and it wasn't. So it was kind of a relationship like that. And he was really amazed that she hung on for as long as she did. 7 years with cystic fibrosis as an adult. So I went and got her doctor, and calls were made, and she was sitting up in her bed and she was saying her goodbyes to everyone, and I was so honored. So honored. To be there. Woo! And be a witness to an incredible exit, if you will, which it's only an exit from this physical form to another form, but an exit nonetheless. And so everything was done. And the doctor came and communicated with her, and she started to leave her body. And then I saw she was breathing, and her breathing, he took she had a mask on to force air into her lungs. And so he took that off. And when he did that, the energy of the angels that were already present just amplified and enveloped her. And I was at her feet, and there were many people in the room, many physical people in the room, not to mention etheric. And after a while, the angel at her head, his arms came down to his side, kind of in line. So he was at the front of the line, and then the other two behind him. And so I saw her soul just lift out of her body and go. And then the male huge angel went after her, and then the two female angels after that. And it was so beautiful. I just saw her move out of suffering, out of pain, out of limitation, out of hardship, out of weight and burden, and into light, almost as though she took her first deep breath. And the doctor was standing right here next to me, and he looked at me and he goes, "Did you see that? Seriously? The doctor?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And I was amazed and felt so much better that he saw that. He said that was her soul. She just left her body. And I said, "Yeah, that was really no words." And it was amazing to me that a medical doctor at the top of his field not only was present for that exchange, not that they're not, but that he was willing to share that with me, knowing nothing about me. When it was all done, I looked at her physical body on the bed, and it had shrunk because of the bigness of our souls and the light of our hearts. And the beauty of our being is big, and that bigness went into spirit, and so the form that was holding that bigness just shrunk to such a tiny size. Well, at that moment when I looked at her, I just felt such a strong need to go outside. I ran down the halls, ran down the stairs, and the hospital doors opened, and when I got outside, the sun was shining. And thank you for going on this journey with me. The sun was shining, and I immediately went to Mother Earth. I went to the grass, and I kind of fell to the grass on my knees, and I heard her and I felt her everywhere, and she was free. And this breeze of wind, or whatever you want to call it, this breeze just started going up from my feet, around me, and then over and around me, and then over and around me, like all around me. And I heard her say, "I'm everything, I'm everywhere, I'm free." And I could feel her, like I could feel her essence as the wind, as it moved my hair around. I could feel the presence of her as she moved around my body. I could just feel her everywhere. It was so beautiful and life-changing. Not only the guardian angels, not only the doctor acknowledging that. I mean, let alone, excuse me, her orchestrating her passing step by step. But then going outside and taking a deep breath as though we were breathing as one. Which is the truth, my truth, and I share it with you. That as we lose our loved ones and they go to the other side, they are still so present for us, with us in our lives, and in ways that we recognize and sometimes in ways that we're still waiting for. But I can tell you with 150,000% authenticity of my truth, your loved ones are on the other side, but they love you. They are still accessible to you, by you, and because of my experiences, not only this one I share with you, but if you've watched any of my other videos, you know there's much more information there regarding life ongoing. But I guarantee you there is life after death. And it is love-filled, and it is light-filled, and it is beautiful. And I tell you that from my experience, from my near-death experiences, and from the death experience of my sister, and from the work that I get to do every day where I communicate with a loved one from the other side. I get to communicate with the loved ones from the other side every day. And I repeat it only because I am telling myself that twice, 3 times, 100 times some days, because I'm so honored and brought to tears and brought to a place of gratitude and deep knowing that yes, we continue on the other side, and love never dies. Energy never dies. It only changes form. Thank you for joining my journey. I am honored that you've taken this time to join me, and blessings to you for the rest of your time.